Hello, everybody. In today's lesson, lesson 3.4, round decimals, our essential question is how can you use place value to round decimals to a given place? Okay, so we're on page 121 of the fifth grade Go Math textbook. So in third and fourth grade, you were introduced to the idea that if I was rounding to a specific place value, I'd look to the digit to the right of the place I want to round to. And if the number was 5 or greater, I would round up by one digit. So let's say I had 7, I was going to round to I had 75, and I was going to round to the tenth, to the tens. Well, 7 is in the tens place, so to the right of it is the 5, and it's 5 or greater. So I would round up the tens by one value, so it would be 80. Okay, if it's the digit to the right is less than 5, we would round down, and in that case we just keep the digits the same. So if I had 74 and I said round to the tens, I would circle the 7 because that's what I want to round to, and I would underline the 4. Well, it's less than 5, so I would keep the 7 the same, and it would be 70. So same idea, except we're using decimal values. Okay, so the gold frog of South America is one of the smallest frogs in the world. It is 386 thousandths of an inch long. What is this length rounded to the nearest hundredth of an inch? So underline the length of the gold frog. Well, it is 386 thousandths of an inch. Would you say the frog's length is about the same as the length or the width of a large paperclip? Well, a large paperclip would be about that. The length would be about this. Okay. And the width is only about that much on a paperclip, right? Well, the frog here is less than half an inch. So it would probably be the width of a paperclip. All right, so one way we can round is to use a place value chart. So you would write the number in the place value chart and circle the digit in the place to which you want to round. So we'd have 0 ones, we'd have 3 tenths, 8 hundredths, and 6 thousandths. We want to round to the nearest hundredth. So you'd circle the 8. You would then look to the digit to the right, which in this case is in the thousandths. If the digit to the right is less than 5, the digit in the place to which you are rounding stays the same. If the digit to the right is 5 or greater, the digit in the rounding place increases by 1. Okay, well that's 5 or greater, so we're rounding to the hundredth, so we're going to increase that by 1. So the gold frog to the nearest hundredth of an inch is 39 hundredths. Okay, now this is an important step here in using decimals. Drop the digits after the place to which you are rounding. Okay, I'm rounding to the hundredths, so I want to drop off any leftover thousandths. Okay, so I'm going to use the thousandths to know whether I'm going to keep it as 8 or if I'm going to round up to 9. But after I use it, I'm not going to put it in the number since that's what I'm rounding to. All right. So another way we can do that is just to use place value. Okay, the little grass frog is the smallest frog in North America. It is 437 thousandths of an inch long. What is the length of the frog to the nearest hundredth of an inch? All right, so this is the number. Where is the hundredth? The hundredth is the 3. So we have to look to the digit to the right, the thousandths. Well, as they're showing you here, 7 is greater than 5, right? So we're going to round the digit we're rounding to up by 1. And then we're going to drop off anything after the hundredths. So it's 0.44. So to the nearest hundredth of an inch, the frog is about 44 hundredth of an inch. All right, how about B? What is the length of the frog to the nearest tenth of an inch? Okay, well, we have the same number, but this time we want to round to the tenths. The 4 is in the tenths place, so we're going to look to the digit to the right. This time it's 3, right? Well, 3 is less than 5, so we're going to round down, which means keep the value the same and drop off all the digits after the place we're rounding to. So we're rounding to the tenths, so we're going to stop there. We're just going to say 0.4, 4 tenths. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's practice some more. All right, here's one example. The Goliath frog is the largest frog in the world. It is found in the country of Cameroon in West Africa. The Goliath frog can grow to be 11 and 815 thousandths inches long. Almost a foot, right? How long is the Goliath frog to the nearest inch? All right, well, write the numbers in the place value chart. Okay, we had 11 to the left of the decimal, and we had 815 thousandths to the right. Find the place to which you want to round and circle the digit. Well, they said, how long is the Goliath frog to the nearest inch? Well, the nearest whole inch would be in the ones. These are all less than an inch. All right, underline the digit to the right, 8 tenths. 5 or greater, round the digit you circled up by 1. All right, so as I said, it's about 12 inches long. Okay, and we're going to drop everything after that place. Because we said to the nearest inch, so we don't need to say 12.0. All right, explain why any number less than 12 and a half and greater than or equal to 11 and a half would round to 12 when rounded to the nearest whole number. So they're saying any number less than 12 and a half. Any number less, so 12.4, 12.3, 12.2, 12.1, so on, right? And they're also saying any number greater than or equal to 11.5. Okay. Would round to 12. Why? Why is that true? Why do all of these numbers round to 12? Because it's based on the rules for rounding, right? Okay. So with any digit less than 5, in tenths place, would have to remain the same, right? Any digit that's less than 5 in the tenths place, these are all less than 5. So the one digit in the ones place, the 2, has to stay the same or remains unchanged. With any digit greater than or equal to 5, the digit would have to increase by 1. Okay. So if we can keep that rule about 5 or more or less than 5 straight, rounding is perfectly easy to do as long as we know which place we're rounding to. All right, so round this number 14 and 603 thousandths to the nearest hundredth. All right, and they gave us a place value chart, so we're going to just write the number exactly like it's written. Okay, we're going to circle the digit we want to round to. We want to round to the hundredths. That means we have to look to the digit to the right. If it's less than 5, we keep the digit we're rounding to the same. All right, so 3 is less than 5. 3 less than 5. Round down. So just keep it the same and drop off anything after that decimal value. All right, B, to the nearest whole number. Okay, so we have the same number, but this time we're rounding to the nearest whole number. That means the nearest 1. Look to the digit to the right. It's greater than or equal to 5. So we would round that up to 15. Keep going. 123. Write the place value of the underlying digit. Round each number to the place of the underlying digit. All right, so we read this as 673 thousandths. The underlying digit is in the, let's see, tenths, hundredths place. Hundredths. So we're rounding to the hundredths place. So look to the digit to the right. 3 is less than 5. Round down. 0.67. See, again, here we're dropping off anything after the hundredths because we're rounding to the hundredths place. All right. 4 and 282 thousandths. The 2 is in the tenths place. So let's round to that place. So circle the tenths place. Underline the digit to the right. 8 is greater than or equal to 5, so round up. 4.3. In this case, we don't have anything after the tenths because we're rounding to the tenths. Number 13. We're rounding to the underlying digit, the 2. Well, I read that as 12, right? 12 and 917 thousandths. So the 12 is in the ones place. Not the 12. The 2 is in the ones place. So let's circle the 2. Underline the 9. 9 is greater than or equal to 5. So round up. So 13. Because we're rounding to the ones place. Number 4, name the place value to which each number was rounded. All right, well, it stops in the hundredths, right? This is the nearest whole number. So the ones. This is rounded to the tenths. Okay, because it stops in the tenths place. Write the place value of the underlying digit and round each number to the place of the underlying digit. So just more of what we've been doing. So we're rounding to the 5. That is in the tenths place, right? Okay. So let's circle the 5. Underline the digit to the right. The 9 is greater than or equal to 5. So round up. Stop in the tenths. Don't put anything after the tenths. 6 and 518. 6 is in the ones place. Round to the ones. Underline the digit to the right. 5 is greater than or equal to 5, so round up. 7. Number 9. Ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. The 0 is in the hundredths. Okay, so we're going to round to that 0. Circle the digit we're rounding to, underline the digit to the right, compare it to 5. It's greater than or equal to 5, so round up. 0.81. Again, you notice we have nothing after the hundredths place. Okay, number 10. 3 and 334 thousandths. The 3 is in the tenths place. The second 3. The one that's underlined is in the tenths place. So we're going to underline the tenths place. Look to the digit to the right. 3 is less than 5. So keep round down, which means leave it unchanged. 3.3. 12.074. The 0 is in the tenths place. Circle the tenths. Look to the digit to the right. 7's greater than or equal to 5. Round up. So add 1 to the tenths place. 12.1. 4.494. The 9 is in the hundredths. Ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. All right, so we're rounding to the hundredths. 4.494. Circle the 9, which is in the hundredths place. Look to the digit to the right. Compare it to 5. 4 is less than 5. Round down, which means keep it unchanged. So the digit we circled remains 9. And we drop off the digits to the right of it. All right, 13. What place value did they round to? Well, we started with 328 thousandths, and we wound up with 33 hundredths. So we rounded to the hundredths. Basically, you know what they rounded to by just saying the value. 2 and 607 thousandths to 2 and 61 hundredths. 12 and 583 thousandths rounded to 13. Ones. Okay. Round the following number to the place name. Tenths. 16.748. What number is it? What digit is in the tenths place? Well, that's the 7. Look to the right. Compare it to 5. 4 is less than 5. Keep the digit the same. So we're rounding to the tenths, so we're going to drop off any digits to the right. Hundredths, same number, but this time we're rounding the 4, which is in the hundredths place. Look to the digit to the right, compare it to 5. It's greater than or equal to 5, so round up. 16.75, 75 hundredths. And finally, round it to the nearest 1. Well, this time the 6 is in the ones place. Look to the digit to the right. Compare it to 5. 7 is greater than or equal to 5. Round up. So 16 becomes 17. Simple as that, guys. All right, 19. What happens when you round 4 and 999 thousandths to the nearest tenth? Well, let's see. 4.999. And we're rounding to the nearest tenth. Look to the digit to the right. 9 is greater than or equal to 5. So we'd have to increase the digit circled by 1. 10. Well, we can't have a value of 10 in a one place value, right? The greatest number is 9 before we go to the next place value. So we have to add 1 to the 4. Okay, so okay, so since you would have to round the tenths up by 1, 9 plus 1 is 10. So we'd have to put a 0 in the tenths place, and we would add 1 to the 4. So we would round it to 5. All right, number 20. For numbers 20 to 22, use the table. So our table says insect speeds, and it says meters per second. So these speeds are meters every second. Okay, and just looking at this, it looks like the dragonfly has the fastest speed, and the slowest speed is the housefly. Okay, all right, so the speeds of two insects, when rounded to the nearest whole number, are the same. Which two insects are they? Rounded to the nearest whole number. So basically, what we're saying is we want to round all of those to the nearest whole number. So if we rounded 6.9 to the nearest whole number, 9 is greater than 5, so we round that to 7. 9 is greater than 5, so we round that to 4. 8 is greater than 5, so we round that to 3. 5 is equal to 5 or greater, so round that to 3. And 9 is greater than 5, so round 1 to 2. Okay, so which two insects have the same speeds when rounded to the nearest whole? The bumblebee and honeybee. Bumblebee, honeybee. What is the speed of the housefly rounded to the nearest hundredth? So the housefly, 1.967. The digit in the hundredths place is the 6. Look to the digit to the right. Compare that to 5. 7 is greater than or equal to 5, so round up. So 1.97. So 1 in 97 hundredth meters per second. And 22. Mark said that the speed of a dragonfly, rounded to the nearest tenth, was 6.9 meters per second. Is he correct? If not, what is his error? So he has 6.974 and he wants to round to the nearest tenth. Well, if you look to the digit to the right, 7 is greater than or equal to 5, so it'd have to be, we'd have to add 1 to the 9, so it actually would be 7.0. And that brings something to my attention here. On number 19, I overlooked that we are still rounding to the 10th, so it wouldn't be just 5, it would be 5.0, okay, because we do have to have the 10th place. All right. So, is Mark correct? No. So, what was his error? Well, he didn't add, well, no. He should add 1 to the tenths. So the tenths would be 0. and add 1 to the 6 to become 7.0. All right, 23. A rounded number for the speed of an insect is 5 and 67 hundredth meters per second. What are the fastest and slowest speeds to the thousands that could be rounded to 5.67 meters per second? And explain. Well, we could have 5.665, and we could also have 5.674. Okay. So the slowest speed you could have is 0.665. If you had 0.664, you wouldn't round up to 0.67. You would keep it as 0.66. So the lowest in the thousands has to be 5. The largest I can have is a 4, because if I put a 5, if I had 5.675, I'd have to go up, and it would be 5.68. So again, basically it has to do with the rules. Any digit that equal to or greater than 5 you would round up. Any digit less than 5 you would round down. Okay. All right, and last question, 24. All right, the price of a certain box of cereal at the grocery store is 258 thousandths of a dollar per ounce. For numbers 24A through 24C, select true or false for each statement. Rounded to the nearest whole number, the price is $1 per ounce. Well, let's see. Where's the 1? Well, that's the 0, right? The 0's in the 1 place. Look to the digit to the right. 2 is less than 5, so round down, which means keep it the same. So no, that's not $1. Round to the nearest tenth. 0.258. The 2 is in the tenths place. Underline the digit to the right. Compare it to 5. Well, it's greater than or equal to 5, so round up. So 0.3. That's true. Rounded to the nearest hundredth, the price is 26 hundredth cents per ounce. 26 hundredth of a dollar per ounce. So the 5 is in the hundredths place. Underline the digit to the right. Compare it to 5. 8 is greater than or equal to 5, so round the digit that we circled up by 1. So that's true. Okay, so that's all there is to rounding, guys. So in our next lesson, we're actually going to go ahead and start practicing with decimal addition. So until then, I will see you soon.